demanded that Cablevision triple the amount per viewer they paid. Fox and Time Warner took out full-page ads in the newspapers, ironically, to accuse each other of mafia-like behavior. The increased cable fees to the networks, of course, are passed on to cable suppliers. Intellectual property. Unauthorized series with their ads removed are showing up on YouTube and other sites. Their owners are fighting back. Today, Viacom is suing Google for $1 billion for uploading pirated Viacom content like South Park and SpongeBob SquarePants onto YouTube. But Google says that the shows were actually uploaded by Viacom's marketing staff in order to promote their series. But these cost-cutting steps don't address the underlying problem. An entire digital generation is already watching TVs and movies on their computers and on internet-connected TV and video game platforms and Blu-ray. The use of video sharing sites like YouTube has nearly doubled in the past 3 years. But YouTube and similar sites don't give viewers all the video they want. That's why the digital audience started clamoring for a new window: online, on-demand, streaming video. Well, the TV industry wanted to follow the digital audience, but the thought of an on-demand online window drives the cable operators crazy. The cable companies see streaming TV on the internet as an end run around cable and a huge threat to their base, especially young people who are used to watching video online and don't understand why they have to pay a cable subscription on top of an internet subscription. 4 years ago, Anne Sweeney, the president of Disney ABC Television Group, said something surprising and shrewd. We understand now that piracy is a business model. It exists to serve a need in the market for consumers who want TV content on demand. Pirates compete the same way we do, through quality, price, and availability. We don't like the model, but we realize it's competitive enough to make it a major competitor going forward. We've created a strategy to address this with attractive, easy-to-use ways for viewers to get the content they want from us legally. In other words, keeping honest people honest, she said. The strategy she's talking about is Hulu. Hulu was begun by Disney, which was joined by Fox and NBC. It's an ad-supported site where Americans can legally stream TV shows like Lost, Grey's Anatomy, The Simpsons. In volume, nearly 1 billion streams a year, it is the #2 video site behind YouTube, and it's growing. Last month's streams are 500% over the year before. On Hulu, programs contain about 1/4 the number of ads as on TV. You can't fast forward through them. You have to sit through them. In many cases, at the beginning of a show, viewers are offered a choice as to which product's ads they want to watch, or whether they prefer a longer pre-roll ad to interruptions in the middle. Brand recall and engagement for this model have been called nothing short of phenomenal, which is why Hulu can charge about double the rates of TV ads. Hulu has shown a profit the last 2 quarters. But some content suppliers are keeping their shows off Hulu because they're afraid that the digital ad revenues won't compensate them for the loss of subscribers. Viacom pulled some of its most popular shows off of Hulu because they weren't getting a big enough share of the revenue. And now there's talk about changing Hulu's models. Some of its suppliers want Hulu to increase the number of ads per shows. Others want to put Hulu behind a paywall, and it looks as though that's going to happen, to have a monthly subscription for premium programming, or if you don't want to watch ads. Last year, 22% of American adults said they cut back or canceled cable. A third of them stream video from websites like Hulu on their TV sets with devices like Roku and Boxee, using hubs and interfaces like Miru, Vudu, and Vooz. Comcast, the biggest cable company, is fighting back with something called Xfinity. It's a website offering free on-demand access to streaming content, except that free means you already have to be paying Comcast as a subscriber. And free also means watching the same load of ads online as on TV. But Comcast has bigger plans, a $36 billion purchase of the NBC network and Universal Studios from General Electric. If the regulators let that deal stand, it will be a Hulu killer. If Comcast can make consumers to subscribe to cable and watch ads, it's not going to let a free ad-supported internet channel cannibalize its base of paying subscribers. When network executives hear that TV on the internet will doom their business, they counter that no web model can supply enough revenue for them to produce the kind of programming that the audience wants. What that ignores is that the digital audience also wants Charlie Bit My Finger. Charlie Bit My Finger is a 1-minute amateur video that has been watched by more people than the viewership of American Idol, Dancing with the Stars, and the Super Bowl combined. Rupert Murdoch says web users will have to pay for what they watch and use. The former head of Fox and Paramount, Barry Diller, says web content is not free and it's not going to be free. Stephen Brill, whose company Journalism Online aims to help publishers to force online readers to subscribe to papers, he says web content users just need to get back into the habit of paying for content online. But as Professor Clay Shirky says, what Murdoch, Diller, and Brill really mean is this: web users will have to pay for what they watch and use, or else we will have to stop making content in the costly and complex way we have grown accustomed to making it, and we don't know how to do that. In other words, the business models that worked for the industry in the analog past will not work in the digital future. They are collapsing of their own costliness and complexity. What is required is not more sophisticated adaptation of the old models, but transformation to new models. We live in a time of radical innovation, and with radical innovation comes creative destruction. Media monopolies are not exempt from that bewildering disruption. The old industry's profits have stopped their ascent to the heavens. The digital audience has baffled the tongue of the old builders, confounding them, forcing them to abandon the tower, to scatter. The way to ruin is to remain stuck in Babel. The way forward, I think, is to build new towers somewhere else. Thank you very much.